What's up to Lion Talk Live? We love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew. This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
All right, well, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining me here today, Lions Talk Live. It is a Saturday morning show edition, and you know what? We've got a little bit of interesting topic that came out, I think in the middle of the day yesterday, late in the day yesterday. I had a coach yesterday, so I couldn't really get it over to you guys, but hey, it's going to be something we'll talk about and see what your thoughts are on it. I do like this idea about potentially adding this game-changing wide receiver because I do think this receiver would be multi-dimensional, unlike Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp's a great player in short stints because he can stay healthy for a game or two, but not long-term. This other particular player, I think he would add a whole lot to the team and maybe not cost a ton if that's exactly what the Lions look to do. We're going to dive into that. We only got about a half hour today because I do have some work stuff today. Got to host some open houses, and pay some bills, things like that sort. So let's get this moving and shaking right off the bat. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're making that march for 13,100 subs, and we are 9 subscribers away. So if you can be one of those 9, I surely would be thankful. Also, if you could, while you're watching the video, after the video, during the video, before the video, maybe a week from now, whatever it is, go ahead and reach on down, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We try to get every video between 200-300 or more thumbs up or likes, and if you can have a half-second time, reach on down. It doesn't cost a dime. Hit that like button. Other than that, one last thing for you before we get rolling. If you are considering buying or selling property in the great state of Michigan or the continental United States, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. So if you want somebody who's got over 30 years in the industry to help you out on commercial property, vacant land, a new house, selling your property, whatever it is, go ahead and give me a call or text. We'll have a quick conversation, see what I can do to save you some time, some money, some headaches, and stuff like that. So, all right, let's get this show rocking and rolling and get over to the first segment of the day, and that is 5 headlines now. All right, 5 glorious headlines on some good ones, I think, today. Lions named a potential landing spot for a $141 million Pro Bowler. Story by John Vaccarone of Athlon Sports. So, it does feel like everybody is naming the Detroit Lions as a place to go for this person, that person, anybody's a free agent, trade destination, whatever it is. I guess the positive thing for Lions fans, we can all say this, that wasn't once upon a time the case. The last 2 off seasons, I do feel like it has become the case. Everybody wants to be a Detroit Lion. Everybody likes what you got going on here. Okay, let me rephrase that. Everybody other than C.J. Gardner-Johnson wants to be a Detroit Lion and enjoys it. The person being named in this particular story is going to be Khalil Mack. So Khalil Mack, hey, this guy in 2023 had a monster season with 17 sacks, 75 total tackles, 5 forced fumbles during his second season with the Chargers. Now, last year did not exactly put up the same numbers. He had 6 sacks, but still had 49 pressures and actually led the all edge rushers in the NFL with 6 batted passes per Pro Football Focus. Why do the numbers drop down so much? I'll leave that to you guys to analyze. But would you be a fan of the Lions adding Khalil Mack in free agency, not having to give up draft picks? Let me know in the comment section. Just say, hey, how about Mac why or Mac no? Go ahead and let me know your particular thoughts. Me, myself, and I on a 1-year deal or a prove-it deal, something like that, I probably would be okay with it. because him with Zadarius Smith as a rotational piece, that might not be so bad if you don't want to give up the big draft capital going after a Myles Garrett or somebody else that has been suggested this offseason already. All right, notes. Lions fan wins NFL Fan of the Year. Story by Kelly Rowe of SB Nation. And kudos to Killer for this particular fan, super fan Megan Stefanski has been named not just the Detroit Lions Fan of the Year, but the entire NFL Fan of the Year. Apparently, Megan's love for the Honolulu Blue has her drive over 10 hours road trips consistently for every home game. She doesn't just go to the home games either. She goes to all the away games and helps even orchestrate the setup, the lineups for the other fans to make the pilgrimage to different Ford Field events or away games. Sorry, one of my 50 dogs just came in the room. So kudos to her. Apparently, she's been a huge fan of the Lions for a long time, the majority of her life. Most of her road trips from the UP over to Detroit required 10 hours, 700 miles, driving nearly 700 miles from both the Upper Peninsula to Ford Field. So that's quite the job. And yes, Uperman's pride is something that is associated with her. So kudos to superfan Megan Stefanski for not just being the Lions Fan of the Year, but also the NFL Fan of the Year. Real dedication there. All right. For Detroit Lions fans, Super Bowl week now brings a new kind of pain. MLive.com, Ben Raven, and yes, I'm working on a story for tomorrow for the Super Bowl for the Detroit Lions, but this is obviously very timely with it. Most Lions fans have only dreamt about what it would be like and be a part of the Super Bowl celebration week, etc. Last 2 years, though, you could even argue the last 3, it's been a realistic expectation this team could make the Super Bowl. We all get it this year. Lions were the number 1 seed. The Lions won the NFC North for the second straight year. Everybody thought, the Lions were shooing to get to the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, a number of things went against us as we went into the season. This is why I honestly thought Dan Campbell should have won Coach of the Year, just because, you look what the team did with a gajillion billion injuries. Still, guys coming in off the street from UPS, from wherever else they were employed to help play defense for this team, and still you got to a 15-2 record. You still got the number 1 seed, et cetera, et cetera. But unfortunately, those injuries, along with not a great performance from the offense, led to the Lions lose this season, which means most fans are watching tomorrow's game going, man, what woulda, coulda, and shoulda, but did not happen. It is a new type of pain indeed for us because we all know we really could be there and win it. All right, I'm Ron St. Brown wants Myles Garrett to join Detroit Lions. SI.com by John Macaron with this one. I think there's a lot of Detroit Lions players that would love to have Myles Garrett here. You've heard Aiden Hutchinson and press row junkets this week talking about it. You're hearing St. Brown talk about it. You've heard some other people talk about it from the Detroit Lions organization this particular week. Is it going to happen? I really have no idea. If I get some information, I'll get it over to you guys. I would just simply say that would be a mammoth, and I mean mammoth defensive front for the Detroit Lions going out there trying to get after Caleb Williams, Jordan Love, and whoever's the quarterback for Minnesota next year. For the rest of the NFL, you would have to deal with it. It would also mean, though, the Detroit Lions would have to invest a ton of their cap into the defensive line. Let's be real. Aiden Hutchinson's about ready to get paid probably $30-ish million a year. Lee McNeil is getting paid. DJ Reader's salary for next year isn't egregious one way or the other, but it's not light. While Myles Garrett's salary next year for his position and his level isn't going to be a ton, it's still going to be $20 million. So can the Lions really spend whatever that ends up being, like $65, $70 million a year on the defensive line? Maybe. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But it is clear there are a number of Lions players who want Myles Garrett to be here if that can be arranged. Will it happen at the end of the day? I don't know. I guess we'll have to all wait and see this offseason. All right, last of the 5 headlines now. How ex-Detroit Lions center Dominic Raiola is having a big impact on Super Bowl 2025. Dave Burkett of the Detroit Free Press on this one. And, I'll give Dave Burkett some kudos and praise for this because I actually really dig this story. So for those who don't know Dominic Raiola, he was a very good center for the Detroit Lions for about a decade. He retired, gosh, I don't even remember how long ago now. It's probably been about 7 or so years ago. But anyways, Dominic Raiola, during his time here, had a teammate with the Lions, and that would be Jeremiah Washburn. Now, you're going to say, well, why does that matter, Dan? Jeremiah Washburn is an assistant with the Philadelphia Eagles. He helps with the defensive line and linebackers. So why does that matter with Dominic Raiola? Apparently, Washburn kept a number of notebooks of Dominic Raiola on how to block, how to handle defensive linemen, etc. He has now used these notebooks to try to help train the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line on how to best handle offensive lines. So Dominic Raiola's notebooks are paving a big return on investment, I guess you could say, for the Philadelphia Eagles. And hey, it's real nice of Washburn to say I'm giving some credit to the guy who authored these, even though he's not even employed by us. So kudos for Dominic Raiola for drawing up the blueprint on how to beat offensive linemen, apparently. All right, like I said at the start of the show, can't be here the incredibly long time today. Do have work stuff to do. So let's get on over to the main topic of the day. Main topic of the daytime. There are always going to be offseason rumors. It doesn't matter which one of the 32 NFL teams you are that have, hey, this guy going here, that guy being traded, whatever it may be. Cooper Kupp's been a landing spot for Detroit, has had Detroit, I should say, as a landing spot for the last week or two. Is he actually going to come here? I have no clue. I personally would not trade for him, but this individual in the main top of the day, I probably would trade for if it wasn't overly, egregious as far as the price. So who is the person that's kind of blanked out? And I get probably some of you guys still figured it out who it is. I tried to make it as big of a teaser as possible, but that would be DK Metcalf. It does appear the Seahawks are considering unloading him, sending him elsewhere. It does appear he's not the happiest to be there. There's also word that Tyler Lockett could be on the outs with the Seahawks. Tyler Lockett, I'd be less thrilled about, but at the same time, he's a heck of a number 3 receiver if you want to go get him. Why I like DK Metcalf is I personally think with his size, and for those who don't know, he's probably the closest thing to Megatron we would have had since Megatron. He's 6'4.5". He's roughly 240 pounds, and as you guys probably know, he is blazing fast. DK Metcalf is a weapon. He's been in the league for a number of years now. I still think he's got a bit left in him, probably 2 or 3 years where he could be, I don't know, a top-ish type receiver, especially in this offense. You think about him opposite, man, you think about him going deep along with Jameson Williams. So when Metcalf came into the scouting combine for the NFL, he ran a 4.33 seconds, 40-yard dash. You imagine him on the outside along with, like I said, Jameson Williams, St. Brown, Laporta working underneath routes. I think that would be a pretty bad matchup nightmare for a lot of defenses. And then you got, of course, McGibbs, Montgomery coming out of the backfield. I like the fact he can run block too. Well, here's what I would ask you, Duke Crew. The suggested story, and I want to give a lot of thoughts and praise or shout out to USA Today. They had a story about Metcalf taking off or somewhere else, and they're not the only one. There's other publications having it, which kind of led into this story. But in the last, as far as I can tell, 2 days, there's quite a few different trade rumors having him out there going to either the Dallas Cowboys, the Detroit Lions, the San Francisco 49ers, the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm sure there'll be other teams. Mike Crum wrote this, his thoughts on it with USA Today. I'm just here to say the Lions really are in play for him, and you could get him for maybe, my thoughts are like a 4th or a 5th or, something in that range. I'd be all for it because the matchup problems he would cause, and it's no disrespect for Tim Patrick or anybody else, but I do think DK Metcalf would be a bigger problem for teams to have to address than Tim Patrick. Would there be enough balls to go around for him and everybody else on this offense? I'd say, man, figure it out. You can only defend so many people. You can only double team so many people. And yes, with his size, with his speed, if you can have 2 burners on the outside, man, oh man, I think you got to commit 5 people defending over the top all the time, because you're going to probably have to force most teams to play 2 high safeties, 2 corners on the outside, maybe even a rover over the middle for him and Jamison. If you got 5 guys having to do that, or heck, even if you only have 4 guys doing that, assuming you're still putting 4 guys on the line of scrimmage to go after the quarterback, I mean, you do the math. How many people are left to guard everybody else? I'm thinking that is an ideal situation for the Detroit Lions. And would they go and do it? I don't know, but let me ask you guys, Duke Crew, would you do this? Would you trade for DK? Just put DKY or DKN. And also, what would you give up to get him? I love this idea if they can make it happen. I personally think he's got 2 to 3 years left in him before you probably start seeing some real drop-off due to age, etc. But, hey, this would make our top 3 receivers pretty dang strong. I'm anticipating for the foreseeable future. All right, guys, let me power through the comments section. Probably not, like I said, get through the comment sections, then I got to get out of here so I can get ready for work. Jameer, greetings, salutations, everyone. Back at you. Michael, greetings, salutations, Coach and Duke Crew. Exclamation points. One pride and good morning to you too, my friend. JDC, morning all. Same to you, JDC. Michael, congrats on the victory last night. Woo! Hey, thank you for that. It was a good one. We had for those who don't know, I coach still. I scout overseas and I coach high school basketball here in the States. And we had a bunch of kids sick last night. I was worried about that game. But what coach isn't when you have things that aren't going right? We got one kid who's got a banged up shoulder too. So we're a little short-staffed, but still found a way to win. So, hey, thanks for that. Jameer, I believe it will be a stronger health team with Chip. Let's go, Lions. 100%. I think the Lions will come into this offseason because of how things ended last year with a big chip on the shoulder. I think you're spot on with that. Now, what we do in the offseason, that's what we're going to have to analyze over the next couple months. But we've got about 30-some-odd days until free agency. I do think the Lions are going to re-sign their own. I do suspect Brad Holmes is going to bring in a couple guys too. Are they going to trade for Metcalf or somebody else? I don't know, but it does seem possible. Jess, greetings, salutations. If that's who I think it is, then hex to the yes. We'll go with that. And yeah, I would be okay with it too. Again, if you guys have thoughts on DK Metcalf, just let me know in the comment section. I like the idea of adding him. John King, good morning, Coach and crew. Still think defense is our biggest concern? I would agree with you, John. I think just about everybody here would agree with you. What we're going to do to address it, that's the $1 million question, isn't it? Could we make a trade for, man, who are all the different people that have been suggested to the Lions this week? Obviously, Myles Garrett. What's his name from Cincinnati? I'm drawing a blank. Hendrickson. There's been some other people, Max Crosby. I do think the Lions are going to try to get an end. Is it going to be Myles Garrett? I've got no clue, man. But I could see us adding 1 or 2 guys in free agency, 1 or 2 guys to the defensive line via the draft. And I do think it's going to be a draft for the Lions, at least, really focused on the defensive side of the ball. Doesn't mean they couldn't sign a guard or somebody else or draft a guard or somebody else for the offense, maybe a little bit of depth at receiver, but I do think it's going to be a defensive focused draft and free agency. Right, good morning, Dan and Dooku. Congrats on the win last night, Coach. Oh, yeah, thanks for that, man. Well, thanks for that. It was a good, hard-fought win, and my anticipation, the team we played last night, we're more than likely, although you never know, we still got a couple weeks before we can lock it up, we're probably going to end up with a first-round bye in the playoffs. And the team we played last night could be the first team we play in the playoffs. So a lot of stuff to still consider in these next 3 weeks leading into the playoffs. Five Fingers Randy, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Keep the offensive side of the ball strong. Who are they talking about us adding? That would be DK Metcalf from the Seattle Seahawks. And I'm with you, Five Fingers. I want us to fix the D and get more weapons for it for sure. But I do think if we could add another, just rock solid receiver, another offensive lineman, if we can't re-sign Zettler, if he does really want to retire or whatever, then I think you add those couple pieces. This offense, is probably just going to not just be what it was last year. I think it's going to get better. Jameer, we put in the Bears in the dirt. I think there will be a lot of Lions fans who will want just that, and probably Lions players too, coaches. Yeah, I think the Bears are not endearing themselves to us. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Jameer, yes, exclamation points. Then the North and the whole league. I think the next few years are our time. Yes, I think most Lions fans have that mindset that, we're obviously disappointed about this year, but I do think if you look at the youth, the structure of this team, the developmental pieces, we're going to be good for the foreseeable future. Johnny L., good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the Duke Crew. Back at you, Johnny. Hopefully it's a good one. Sosmo, what up, Duke Crew? Question mark. Anything that makes the team stronger works for me, and me too, my friend. Me too. Voltron, Jesse Lynn, who do you think it is? Well, now you guys know who it is. Michael, I agree. Sosimo, Johnny L., right on, thumbs up. Pat Rock, I think that's DK. Yes, it was. It was. If it is, and it doesn't cost too much, I'd love to see him out there with JMO St. B. That guy can block. Yeah, we get it. We face him every year, the last 3 or 4, 5 years, whatever it's been. He is a matchup problem for a lot of people. His size, his strength, his speed, his veracity, his run blocking, I think he would fit right in. Dave Bink, good morning, Duke Crew, and Coach Dan, good morning to you too. Clark, what is going on, everyone, this morning? Question mark. Duke Crew strong? Exclamation point. I like that, by the way. And yes, keep adding weapons to us. Yeah, add some weapons on offense, defense, everything in between. Just look at our special teams. We probably have one of the best special teams in the league. We're all probably aware we have one of the best offenses in the league. Now, can you just kind of chisel up, make that offense a little bit stronger, make that defense a little bit better? I think we'll be in a good spot. Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. Exclamation point. What a team. What a podcast. Thank you for that. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! Coach, you're the best. Hey, no, you're the best. Go Lions. 100%, my friend. 1,000%. Big Eddie, greetings and salutations. I do personally feel Brad will make some mid to low level draft pick moves this season. I don't foresee him giving up a first and second. Yeah, I think the only way he's going to part with the first and second is if the Lions really do go for a mega deal for, Myles Garrett or just whoever else, someone in that conversation. Otherwise, I know we talked about this week about the Lions potentially going for like Trey Hendrickson or from the Bengals, and that's going to cost you like a 4th, 5th, or 6th or something like that to get him. So if you get someone like that just for a year or two to fill in, really strengthen that side of the line, and now you still have your first, second, and third round picks to add some strong depth to this team at whatever positions they deem, I love this team going forward. Trey, what's good, everybody? Question mark. Who are we looking at to add? It sounds like DK Metcalf is at least today's speculative piece. Darcy, hey, Coach, when are we going to do the next Lions Talk Live mock draft? That's a good question. How about next week? Well, I'll put it on the board and we'll get one dialed up for you. Maybe we'll make this one interactive, unlike last time. Anymore, I say a great team needs great players. I'm down with that. Steel, sharpen steel, 100%. I'll take that. And yes, put some pressure on some goal and turn it into a diamond. Brent, I still think we need defense more. I'll go with that, but I trust Brad and Dan to do whatever they decide is best for the team. Can't argue with the success they've had so far. Go Lions. Woo! Yeah, if they feel like they can add to the D and still add another offensive weapon like DK Metcalf, man, that would, I'd say go for it. France, I agree, Brent DeWitt. This team needs to address D-line and linebacker room. Maybe a bit more depth at corner. Yeah, I'd say that's about right. They're going to know the quarterback depth probably better than anybody. The team will. So can they re-sign CD3? I hope so. I'm not so sure about Iffy unless it's a really team-friendly deal. Derek Barnes, I do question if he'll be back too. I think maybe there'll be a movement. Hey, we got to make some choices here. We can't re-sign everybody. Can we save some money by letting Barnes go and drafting somebody? I don't know. Maybe they re-sign Barnes and re-sign Iffy and let Carlton Davis walk. But I do think we're all on the same page that defensive line defense is going to be addressed. Lions Talk Live, since if they are trading JMO, they need a wide receiver. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to trade JMO. I know there were a couple reports that suggested that they would. I just personally, if it's me, and I know I've mentioned this, several times this week, I wouldn't part ways with the man. The kid's too rare, in my opinion, at least. I think he still has a lot of upside. He was probably the best wide receiver in that draft if he wasn't hurt. So just let him keep healing, keep evolving. And you know what? You can't teach what he has. I would just keep working with him and watch him grow, help him develop. Susan, good morning, everyone. Back at you. Henry Moore, I say that the Wizard Brad works his magic in the draft and the Lions become the superpower of the North. I'm down with that. And one could argue we're already establishing ourselves as this superpower of the North. Stephanie, so do we know who the wide receiver is? Yes, DK Metcalf. At least that is the main topic of the day one. Detroit D, greetings, salutations, everyone. Same to you, my friend. Good to see you as always. Johnny L, so the MG hype is over? I don't think so. Johnny, I just try to not cover it every day. I mean, I get it was in the 5 headlines now, but I'm not trying to make it the main focus of the show every day. If they make a move for him, or if we get some more like real juicy information regarding it, I'll jump back on it. But I just feel like that's getting so beat up by everybody in social media. Let somebody else run with that story. Donkey Kong 17-0 or choke. I'm down with that. Oh, let's hope we don't choke. Lauren, good morning, everyone. Same to you, my friend. Can't wait for the new episode. The Trim Reaper, what up, coach and new crew? Woo! Back at you. Hopefully it's a good start to your day. Donkey Kong Brad will not land and top name free agents. None. Okay. Maybe he won't. I do think you're probably more than likely correct with that, Donkey Kong. I think we all, after whatever it's been 4 seasons with him, understand he's probably not going to go for the big pricey guys or the big name guys. He's going to go for the mid-level guys. That seems to be his norm. Maybe changes something. Maybe he says we just got to have this guy, but we'll wait and see when that happens. Excuse me, Keith. Good morning and greetings, salutations, Dan and crew. Back at you, Keith. Let's see, 1991. What do you got? So what? All right, we'll see what's up. Miles Marker. Good morning, boys and girls. Same to you. D Mo. What do you got? Get Garrett. All defensive tackles. We've passed on, won a Super Bowl. There's a lot of truth to that, so I would be okay with us getting Garrett. I think it just ultimately, at the end of the day, comes down to what we're going to give up for him, D. Trina, let's see. Good morning to everyone. Same to you. Hopefully you and Christina are having a good start to your day. The Detroit D, for rotation. Yeah, rotation 100%. Trey, rise and shine to the chat. I trust all as well. And same to you. Hopefully it's a good morning for you. Paperback fan, Mac for a year, sure. Yeah, I'd be okay with that. Mac for a year, 100%. 100%. Ezra Gray, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Think Brad Holmes will open that checkbook Sheila gave him access to and nail down a top defensive end and say skip them picks. Maybe he does, man. Personally, I can't wait to see what this offseason does, because I do think you, me, and everybody in between in the chat understands this team's got a whole lot of talent. Now, can you add, if you could add 2 to 3 game changers on that defense, man, I just don't see how we don't have a legitimate shot at the Super Bowl. Of course, you never can, I don't want to say we would win the Super Bowl, but we would have probably as good a chance, if not better, than the vast majority of people out there to win the Super Bowl, or teams out there. Aaron, good morning, Duke Crew. Get him and resign Tim Patrick. Might just happen. JDC, Dre Forge rocks, and he rolls. And apparently he's getting a little bit more agile as he goes. Mr. Detroit City, keep up the great work, Coach Dan. Anytime, my friend, exclamation point, and thank you for that. Miles Margaret, yay, Megan. Voted for her several times. She's a Youper. Yeah, and I wonder, I don't know this, and maybe it was in the story and I just missed it. I'm wondering if she was related at all to the gentleman who owned Youperman's up in the UP. For those who don't know, he passed away, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago. He went to every Lions home game from the UP, owns a restaurant up there. I want to say for like 20 straight years or something like that. But it could be a relation. I don't know. Vincent E., good morning. All back at you. Phil, good morning. Hey, Phil, you got a new spelling for your name? All right. Well, it's not Philip, or maybe it's not Phil. Maybe it's Philip. Maybe it's somebody different. It's got to be Phil, though, because the wrench. Yeah, all right. Miles Meyer, Hubert, correct. Ezra Gray, Sheila wants to be the Ford that brought the championship to Detroit. She's going to make sure they can go all out this year. Yeah, I think you're right. I think every year, they're doing more, or she's doing more and more, and giving them more and more leeway to really do whatever she feels, or they feel, the Brad Holmes, the front office, to get it done. Robert, greetings, and same to you. Detroit D, and wide receiver, you have to be beletting me. How about that? Yeah, I mean, could it be that they make a move, a late round pick, or whatever the suggestion was? I'd have to go back to what's his name, Mike Crumb's story, but I do think they're Dr. Detroit. If the Lions were to go for him or an Adam, it would probably be like a 4th, 5th, or 6th round pick. At his age, I don't see him getting a 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. And maybe you do, but I don't think that would happen. Keith Mack, question mark? No. I want the grand slam in the bottom of the 9th in the World Series. Give me a Garrett at all costs. Best defensive line in the NFL, Super Bowl bound, 14-3. Woo! Yeah, if they get him, I got to imagine every offensive coordinator is on notice, not just in the NFC, but the NFC North. All right, a couple more here. I'll try to give you guys 5 more minutes or so, and then I got to get ready to go. John, greetings, salutations to Dan and the world-famous Duke Crew. Back at you. Courtney, you get what you pay for. That. Now, that's not inaccurate. You are correct there. The Trim Reaper, it's a beautiful kind of pain, Coach. Yes, it is. It is. It's a great pain versus the past. William, greetings, salutations, Dan and Duke Crew. Just goes to show we do have the best fans in the league. Woo! Hit that like button. One pride, go Lions. 100% with that. I fully agree. JDC, Puff, woo! Coffee and Lions Talk Live. Trim Reaper, elbow drop that like button. Oh yeah, I'm down with that. A paperback fan, DK sounds nice. I would like him out there. I think that would be great for us. Trim Reaper, DK, I would bump JMO to third string, maybe. But either way, with JMO on one side, DK on the other side, man, I just think that is a matchup massive problem for the 99% of defenses out there. And man, just imagine how open Sam Laporta and St. Brown would be on the regular. You'd force everybody into playing over the top, too high coverage. That running game would now be opened up. Keith, Cup, question mark. Would that mean Patrick is out? I want Patrick to stay goal lines. Yeah, I really like Timmy Patrick. I think he just seems like the perfect fit for this team. I personally am. It's nothing against Tim Patrick, not Cooper Kupp. It's just I think his time is about done in the league. Big D, DK would be a locker room mishap. Yeah, and that part I can't speak on. I just don't know him well enough. Drum River DK can be a drama queen, though. Yeah, and if that's the case, you could probably roll him out. And you guys may know more about that than I do. Again, it's just not something I know a lot about. Brian, good morning, Dan and everyone. I'd love Mac and Metcalf to Detroit. Metcalf, maybe some of you guys are right that he's not an ideal locker room fit. Mac, I think, would be okay because he probably understands this is his last go. He needs to be all in on this one. Vincent E. DK would be a bigger problem for teams if he was on the Lions. DK, yes. Okay. Thank you for that, Vincent, by the way. Trim Reaper, I would love to give DK a try in Motown. Yeah, maybe I don't know what's left on his contract. I didn't have time this morning to look it up. Maybe somebody can put in the comment section real quick. But if he's got like a year, maybe 2 left on the contract, maybe I would roll the dice and just say, hey, you got to be exemplary here. Otherwise, you're out of here. I will see. William, DK would be a great addition. Another offensive weapon and be a big one, too. Giovanni Lyons, Sheila, woo! You want a Sheila woo? I'll give you a Sheila woo. How about a 1, 2, and a 3? And there you go. Tears, no fears. Good morning, coach and crew. Exclamation point. That would be a great addition. But is it worth it? Question mark. Maybe we can get a great deal. Lightning and Thundercats. Oh, yeah. It seems like the suggested price for him would be a 4th or 5th or 6th. Somewhere in that range. If it was me, I'd probably give up a 5th, but I have really no idea what he goes for. Go get Mile. Just saying. I think they're going to try. James, DK, yes. All right. Thank you for that. Jerome Davis, I've been saying for the last year or so that we need to go receiver. Someone who can just go open with the speed and height and maybe create some pass interference flags. Most significant penalty in football. He would achieve all that, wouldn't he? He would probably be the outside receiver that Tim Patrick sometimes is. You'd really be able to just utilize St. Brown in the slot more and more. I know some of you guys want more slants and crossing patterns. Well, you could do a whole lot of those if you put JMO and DK out wide and say Laporta and St. Brown moving inside on crossing patterns, etc. Maybe even have Gibbs do some of that. Phil, does MCDC change his practices to keep players healthy? That's the $1 million question, ain't it, Philly? What he did 2 years ago to keep him healthy, obviously something changed this year. I'm gonna guess they're gonna look into that quite a bit. Let's see, James DK, thumbs up. Okay, Aaron DKY, oh yes, 4th round pick. Congratulations, coach. Thank you for that very very much there, Aaron. Giovanni, what do you got? The DK and Miles equal plus Carlton Davis is better or big win? Yes, go big or go home. Victor, good morning, Lions family. Our best days are ahead. I think you are correct. I think they're going to keep drafting, keep developing. I think we already got some guys that have been here a season or 2 developing. I think, yes, we're going to be doing all right. Phil, how long will it take for a team to mesh with new coaches and systems? The NFL level, I would say you got to get through probably at least 2 or 3 weeks in September. Now, that could be sped up if they actually do some stuff in the preseason, but I just don't see MCDC or the vast majority of the NFL really using the preseason anymore as that learning opportunity. JDC, Motor City New Crew, back at you. Keith, DK, question mark, is intriguing, exclamation point. I'd have to think about that. Okay, yes, bring him in. Let's get great everywhere on the team. Go Lions to the Super Bowl, 14-3. Woo! Yeah, I'll go with that, my friend. 100% there, 100%. Money edits, DK, fills about the only hole we have in the offense. Geno Smith finished with the highest completion percentage. I think it would be a fit for the offense. Yeah, the one thing I would say, yes, is that if you could have two guys that could burn it and go wide and deep, that puts a lot of stress. You couldn't play single high safety. I would say, the vast majority of the time against this anymore, it would have to be two high safety just to contain them both on the regular basis. Phil, is there really going to be Amos between Johnson and between more hype? I do think Ben Johnson is not endeared himself to MCDC, the Lions fan base, clearly. And from talking to the players or reading the players' comments, I should say, it does sound like the vast majority of the players, Phil, are not Ben Johnson's fan at this time. Patrick, what do you got? Go get Mac and get 2 in the draft. Then you're not breaking the bank for one person. Yeah, 100% there, Patrick. And believe in Brandon MCDC. Let them do their thing. We've made it this far. Yeah, I'll go with that 100%. JDC, I ain't scared. Go Lions. All right, I concur. Keith, BTW, what do you coach, Dan? At this point, I am coaching basketball and I'm scouting basketball players for the CBA, Chinese Basketball Association. So still do a little bit of that. I used to coach volleyball, football, and tennis too. Philip, did the Lions retain their special teams coach? I don't believe he's left. So yes, I believe he has. Or still here. Did you make the Michigan Hall of Fame coach? They don't announce that stuff, I think, for a while still. So if I get in the finals for it or whatever it is, they'll let me know at some point. John King, DKY, 3rd round draft choice. Okay, thank you for that, John. Phil, is your wedding, Dan? At the undisclosed location. Phil, let's see, Keith, love your podcast in the morning. Thanks for that, Keith. All the new crew, good morning all. Back at you, my friend. Manuel, DK, Myles Garrett not coming, bro. We'll find out, my friend. We'll see. JDC, getting real in the D. Go Lions. Back at you. Black JR Jones, hit that like button. Thank you for that. If you guys can, hit the like and subscribe buttons. Super Juggernaut, TCU got a wide receiver that is 6'5", 225. Salvation Williams. I'll check him out. Thank you for that heads up, man. Super. I'll go check him. Phil, this is a huge prove-it year for MCDC. Seems the credit went to the assistants. Will MCDC change his style? That is a very good question there, Phil. Keith, if I have to choose, I want Davis to stay over Barnes. I'm probably with you there. I think there's enough good veteran linebackers in free agency, even in the draft, where you could probably replicate Barnes a little bit easier than Carlton Davis. James, who are they looking at to replace Coach Randall L.? That I don't know yet. That's a great question there, James. The Trim Reaper, have a great day, coach and crew. Woo! Back at you. Keith, JDC, happy trails, go Lions victory. Keith, J-Mo must stay. I think he's going to stay. He is a rare talent with that always comes side issues. Look at our Detroit sports history. Gibson, Rodman, Fedorov, Lions wide receivers, go Lions. Yeah, I don't think they're going to get rid of him. I've been wrong before, though. Lauren, my one live was last night. My new show Monday night. I'll check it out. Thank you for that. Kim, sometimes you have to pay for it and get nothing. There you go. We're going to do Happy Trails, Dude Crew. Back at you. Keith, DK, yes, thank you. Black JR Jones. Too many people in the chat, not enough likes. Hit that like button. Yeah, if you guys can, hit the subscribe and like button. And thank you for that, Black JR. Vincent E., great show. Appreciate your time, Coach Dan. Anytime, man. I enjoy doing this. Hopefully you guys enjoy it too. Frank, take DK. No, defense. All of us, please. Remember what we've seen the last 2 years. Go Lions. Woo! And back at you. Scuba. Man, I feel like I haven't seen you in a long time. I love the Lamborghini Countach, in the water there. DK strong? Yes, he is strong. Miles, Lions won pride. Brian, Dan, did you say slants? Laughing out loud. Let's go Lions. I'm so excited for the new coordinators. Yeah, they'll see what they bring. Jennifer, thanks for the info every day. Anytime. I enjoy it. Hopefully you guys do as well. Scuba, what do you got? Great run blocking, also the wide receiver position. That would be the other part of it. Not that Tim Patrick doesn't do a good job, but if you can keep Timmy Patrick, St. Brown, Jameis Williams, all those guys are pretty dang good run blocking wide receivers, what I'm trying to say. Hardy, what do you got? Speaking on cutting down on injuries, most of it was friendly fire. I would agree with that for the defense players. A lot of it was friendly fire. Tell our players to stop running into each other. That would probably help. Donald, why? Thank you for that. Scuba, adding DK would add great run blocking at the wide receiver position along with the offensive line. Woo! I'll go with that. And Scuba, let's go. Phil, when you're getting your Italian car out of your garage. Yeah, I don't have it anymore. Jen had me sell that thing a few years ago. Giovanni Lyons, have a great day, Dan. Back at you. All right, guys, got you about 10 extra minutes, but I got to get it rolling and going, getting ready for work. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're 9 subs away from 13,100. Also, if you would be so kind, hit that thumbs up button, that like button. We try to get every episode to 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Have a great day. Do something kind for someone you don't know. Be a good human being. We'll see you guys all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody. You're still here? What are you doing here? It's over. The show's over. Go home.